You are listening to Huddling with the Herd on KYNT, a weekly recap of Yankton High School athletics. Huddling with the Herd is brought to you in part by Mount Marty University, At the Bar, FNBO, Avera, Parker Hannafin, Olson's Pest Technicians, Farmers Union Insurance, SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab, Rhonda Westland State Farm Insurance, Vision Care Associates, Explorers Credit Union, Slowey Management, Mason Schramm and the Move Group, MT&RC Smith Insurance, Triple Time Rudy's, Vision Real Estate, First Dakota National Bank, Yankton Medical Clinic, the UPS Store, Hy-Vee, First Chiropractic Centers, Pizza Ranch, and Missouri River Associates. Now, broadcasting live from KYNT Studios, it's Huddling with the Herd with KYNT Sports Director Brayden Butler.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live on a Saturday morning in December, a couple days away from Christmas. It's time to talk Yankton High School athletics here on KYNT and KYN-TV. This is Huddling with the Herd. We got Yankton Bucks and Gazelles basketball to talk about. Gymnastics. Unfortunately, the big thing from this week from gymnastics is a postponement, but we also got Bucks hockey, Yankton Bucks and Gazelles wrestling. We're going to talk a little Yankton bowling as well, as they are entering their 6th week of the season this weekend. Bucks and Gazelles bowling did compete last night against Sioux Falls Jefferson. I don't have the results from that as of right now, but if those come in before I get to that part of the segment, I'll get those out to you. But we're going to talk about their season kind of up to this point so far. But that's your rundown of what we got cooking up today on Huddling with the Herd here on KYNT and KYN-TV. Not to steal too much from another guy who's got the Herd in his show name, but from wherever you may be listening here on KYNT and KYN-TV. Appreciate you joining us on this Saturday morning. Christmas coming up next week. I know this is probably a busy time for a lot of people, so the fact that you're taking time out of your Saturday morning to spend it with me here on KYNT, I am very, very appreciative. We are going to go to our first break here on Huddling with the Herd. Huddling with the Herd is presented by Explorers Credit Union. Wherever you want your financial journey to take you, Explorers Credit Union can help you take you there. You can visit them at explorerscu.com. They got a vision of financial empowerment for everyone over at Explorers Credit Union. Big thank you to them for helping sponsor Huddling with the Herd. When we come back, we're going to start things off right away with Yankton Bucks basketball. 2 games this week, rounding out their 2025 slate of games as they're off now for the Christmas break. But we'll have results from both of those games this week, and we'll have last night's post-game interview with head coach Chris Haynes here coming up shortly. This is Huddling with the Herd. I'm Brayden Butler. You're listening to KYNT on a Saturday morning. Back in a couple minutes.
Looking for the perfect pair of glasses? At Vision Care Associates, we've got you covered. Step into our showroom and discover our vast selection from timeless classics to the latest trends. With several styles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect match for your look. Experience personalized service and expert care. Whether you need help finding the right frame or adjusting your new glasses for the perfect fit.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Credit union people are my people. Dreaming big, keeping life simple. Saving smart, living free. At Explorers Credit Union, you just like me. We chart new trails, we stand tall. Together we rise, together we call. Credit union people are my people, it's true. And I found my crew at Explorers CU. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit explorerscu.com to join the journey today.
At Mount Marty University, students get real support and real opportunities.
Hi, I'm Maya, and I'm a business major at Mount Marty University. The professors here at Mount Marty are just amazing. They're very good about supporting me through future internships and jobs that they try and line me up with, and they also provide real life experiences in the classroom through projects and speakers and things like that.
Start your journey online at mountmarty.edu.
At the Bar is the bar for sports fans. With coverage of NFL, college football favorites, Yankton High School action, and NHL hockey too. Open 7 days a week. Bring in your crew, grab a table, and take in all the action surrounded by fans who love the game as much as you do. The energy's better, the company's great, and the beverages are cold, just the way game day should be. You can watch the game anywhere, but real fans gather at the Bar. in downtown Yankton.
Welcome back in here on KYNT and KYNTV for Huddling with the Herd. Something I want to mention before we get into Bucks basketball here. Involves a Bucks basketball player, but it's coming from the football season. Apparently, we have not quite yet shut the door on Yankton High School football. The South Dakota Football Coaches Association recently announced its Select 60 team for the 2025 season. For those who don't know what that is, it's comprised of players from all 9 football classes in South Dakota, including the 2 All-Nations classes. So it's a list of the best in South Dakota when it comes to high school football. And Owen Eidsness represents Yankton on the elite list. He entered the Class 11 AA championship game with 62 catches, 854 yards, and 13 touchdowns. Final season stats for Owen Eidsness, just under 1,000 yards receiving, 69 catches, 13.8 yards per catch for 950 yards, 14 touchdowns, 79.2 yards per game, 5.8 catches per game. He was an absolute stud for Yankton this season. So congrats to him being named to the South Dakota Football Coaches Association Select 60 team. 2 more Yankton athletes were named as honorable mentions. That recognition given to Yankton's Edley Amaro and Liam Villanueva. Looking at Amaro and his stats on the season, Edley ended the year 40 tackles, 19 of them solo tackles, 16 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 1 forced fumble throughout his season. And Liam Villanueva, great special teams player, served as the punter and kickoff specialist for this Yankton team. Looking at his punting stats on the year, 37 punts for a total yardage of 1,431 yards, net yards of 1,304, averaged 35.24 yards per punt in terms of net yardage, had 12 punts down inside the 20, and only 3 touchbacks on the season. Liam Villanueva, a fantastic special teams player this year for Yankton. Edley Amaro, an absolute a monster in the defensive game as well. He's actually credited for 56 tackles this season. My apologies there. It shorted him a little bit initially when I was reading there, but a fantastic season all around for the Yankton Bucks. Congratulations to those 3 guys. Owen Eidsness making the list for the Select 60 team for the Football Coaches Association, and then Liam Villanueva and Edley Amaro as honorable mentions. Now it's time to get back into winter sports here, as it is the 20th of December, and we're going to start things off with Yankton Bucks basketball. Interesting enough, we're going to talk a little bit more about Owen Eidsness too during this, but it starts on Tuesday this week. Bucks basketball fell to Sioux Falls, Washington at home, 54-42. At that point, Yankton falling to 0-2 on the season. Beck Reichen with 16 points to lead the Bucks in that game. Tegan LaCroix followed with 14, combining for 30 of Yankton's 42 points in that loss. Owen Eidsness, mentioned him earlier on, 6 rebounds and 5 steals. Eidsness would tie Austin Conway for the team high in points in last night's game against Sioux Falls Lincoln. That ends up being a 62-38 loss. And Yankton really hung with Lincoln for a while in that first half. And then just coming off, a player comes off the bench for Sioux Falls Lincoln and just hits every three-pointer imaginable. You blink, and Yankton went from a couple-point game. I think it was down to a 5 or 6 point game. And then next thing you know, it's almost an 18-point game because Everett Starks decided to come off the bench and go 6 for 8 from three-point range. And he was ridiculous last night for Sioux Falls Lincoln. I know Sam DeGroat's their star as well. He's a 6'7" forward. He had 24 and 11. Looked it up last night. He's going to Augustana, so he's committed to play D2 basketball. So he's a very, very good player. But Yankton ends up losing last night, 62-38. Conway and Eidsness, like I said, combined for the team high in scoring with 8 points each, with Eidsness adding 3 assists. Beck Reichen and Jackson Kudera would both score 7 points in the loss last night. Did get a chance to catch up with head coach Chris Haynes talking about last night's game, and he didn't really mince words, but Sioux Falls Lincoln is one of the best teams, if not the best team in the state. A lot of people think that they're going to have a shot at taking home a state championship this year. Could have got very close last year, could do it this year for Sioux Falls Lincoln. But here's that post-game coach interview with head coach Chris Haynes from last night's coverage of Yankton Bucks basketball up in Sioux Falls.
Tale of two halves, it felt like. It hung with them a little bit early on, and then they got on that run in the second quarter, and then obviously a massive third quarter for Sioux Falls. Lincoln really pulled them away in the second half. But what are your initial thoughts coming off the sideline?
Yeah, I thought we got off to a decent start, which was important on the road, first road game of the season, especially here. Just over the years, whenever Sioux Falls Lincoln gets it going anywhere, but especially here at home, once they see a few in a row go in, they're really hard to stop. And yeah, so I thought we got off to a good start, did some good things on both ends. Obviously coming into the game, we wanted to really focus on their big three, Schaefer, Erickson, and DeGroot. Thought we were doing that early in the game until midway through the second quarter there when 13 got away from us. And, obviously he can shoot it better than we thought coming in, didn't know a lot about him. And you got to give that kid credit. He stepped up and makes 5 threes in the second quarter. And that was kind of the difference in the first half. Otherwise, we're hanging around and right there with them. And then start the second half, DeGroot got away from us a little bit. And, then the next thing you know, the game's out of hand, and they can do that to you. That's why they're good. Obviously, they got the 3 all-state players. I really think, those 3 wouldn't surprise me if they were all 3 first-team all-state this season. So, but the other guys around them are really good role players, and that's why they're a good basketball team.
You mentioned wanting to kind of slow down their big 3. Brody Schaefer, I had him for no points tonight. Sam Erickson got in a little bit of foul trouble. Drew a couple charges on him as well. There really was a group that really got away, as you said there in the second half. But I want to talk about drawing those charges, getting a couple different players into foul trouble. I felt like that was one of the positive things to take away from this game is being able to draw charges down low.
Yeah, obviously that's huge for us. We're not the biggest team around, so we got to be scrappy and find other ways to do some things. And taking charges. I think we've taken 2 every game, which is good, but we could have taken more tonight. I thought we had a couple more opportunities where we could have got a couple more, but that's something that we're going to have to do all season long, especially against good teams like this. And that's just huge because exactly right. You take a couple on Erickson, or a guy that can score and wants to score, and he's going to the basket. You take a couple of charges on him, you get him in foul trouble, and then, maybe slow him down a little bit as well.
The guy I want to talk about quick is Austin Conway. I know Sam DeGroot was the guy that everybody across the state is going to talk about all year long. He had 22 tonight by my count.
Yeah, he's just a tough matchup at 6'7". Mm-hmm. I thought we did a decent job on him. It's just tough. Austin's not used to guarding out on the perimeter, and and DeGroot can really shoot it. He can shoot it as well as anyone in the state. And, you're telling Austin, you got to get out, you got to get out, you got to get up into him. And it's just hard because Austin hasn't done that a lot. And so that was a good experience for Austin because, there's some other teams down the road that we're going to play that have 5 men that can shoot it. And so, that's like I said, a good learning lesson for him to understand just if their 5-man can't shoot it and he's guarding, because then we need Austin in the game, right? If a team doesn't have a big guy, but they got 5 men that can shoot it, he's got to step out. He's got to be able to guard because we need his presence on the other end, on the offensive end of the floor. So he's got to keep getting better at that because, like I said, we need him in the basketball game.
Long layoff for you guys, couple weeks, obviously off for winter break. I don't know what practice schedule looks like over school breaks, but you don't come back until January 3rd, back home against Aberdeen Central. So what's this time off look like for you as you try to get your team ready for 26?
Yeah, good and bad with not playing over break. We had three obviously games before break, and then all 3 against quality opponents. And so some things have been exposed for sure on both ends of the floor, a lot of things that we need to work on. And so we'll lift tomorrow morning at Coach Rosie's. We'll come back Monday and get a good inter-squad scrimmage in Monday afternoon before the kids go on break Tuesday through the 26th. We get to come back just the one day on Saturday the 27th. Obviously no practice on Sunday the 28th. And then we got a full week Monday through Friday to practice before that Saturday game that you mentioned against Aberdeen. And then, because once that game hits, it's fast and furious. We got 17 games in January and February, which is going to obviously be grueling. So our Christmas break practice is going to be huge for us.
That was head coach Chris Haynes after last night's game with Sioux Falls Lincoln. The Bucks are now 0-3 on the season heading into their Christmas break. Big matchup with Aberdeen Central on the 3rd of January right here at home. at the Summit Activity Center. We'll have coverage of that one on KYNT and KYN TV. We're going to take a break here on Huddling with the Herd. When we come back, we'll have Yankton Gazelles basketball. We'll caught up with head coach Blake Savvy earlier this week after their one matchup of the week against Sioux Falls, Washington. We'll have that when we come back. This is Huddling with the Herd, KYNT, KYN TV.
FNBO is the great big small bank. And for more than 165 years, we've been with you where you are. A bank that's ready for all your needs, both big and small. Here to help you earn more, save more, so you can do more every step of the way. It's what you can expect from the great big small bank. FNBO, independent and family owned for 6 generations, and ever so focused on you. Stop on by or visit us at fnbo.com, member FDIC.
From the first wails of surprise to first day of school questions, playground adventures, learning to drive stress, and graduation cheers, they'll always be your little sunshine. At Avera Children's, we get kids, teens, and parents too. We'll step you through first checkups, milestones, sickness, and specialized care when your child needs it, and treat them like our own every step of the way. Learn more at avera.org/children's.
The holidays are a time to reflect on what matters most. At Parker of Yankton, we are powered by the hard work of our employees, the loyalty of our customers, and the support of our community. Together, we're engineering success like never before. Looking to start the new year with a career where you're valued and appreciated? Join the Parker team today. Visit parker.com to apply. From all of us at Parker of Yankton, thank you for making this year unforgettable.
Parker, engineering your success.
Happy holidays from all of us here at Parker of Yankton.
Rodents want to make your home their home. Pesky invaders go in search of warm housing and food for the winter. An invasion of rodents can be costly and can contribute to disease and contamination of products. So trust the experts to keep them out. Olson Pest Technicians is family-owned with over 80 years of experience. Even the toughest infestations don't stand a chance. Olson Pest Technicians, putting pests to rest since 1966. Call 800-KIL-BUGS.
Welcome back here on KYNT and KYN TV. Let's talk Yankton Gazelles basketball now. Only one game for them this week. They now are 1-2 on the season following last Tuesday's loss to Sioux Falls, Washington on the road at Washington High School. Ended 57-24. It was a tough night offensively for the Yankton Gazelles. Couldn't really find a rhythm, high pressure from the Washington defense. It's a team in the Warriors that liked to get out and run early on. They liked to press and cause problems in the backcourt. Very much a team. You ever seen Coach Carter? You're going to run all night and cardio based, and that's kind of what Sioux Falls, Washington really did really well on Tuesday. A high press, not really giving Yankton much room to breathe, bringing the ball up the court and then running in transition on the other end. The game ends 57-24 in favor of the Warriors. Individual stat leaders for Yankton: Eden Wolfgram had 10 points. She led the Gazelles in scoring. September Rao, team high 7 rebounds for the Gazelles. They are off until January 3rd. They will be on the road against Aberdeen Central. As of right now, it looks like we will have audio-only coverage of that on the 3rd with we don't need to get too much into logistics, obviously, but it's going to be a busy day for basketball around Yankton on KYNT and KYN TV. Yankton Bucks, Yankton Gazelles basketball, and they're split with Aberdeen Central on the same day. Got a home doubleheader for Mount Marty against Morningside. So it's going to be a busy day, but January 3rd, we should have coverage of all those basketball games here on KYNT or KYN TV, depending on which game you're looking for. But speaking of Tuesday's game, had a chance to catch up with head coach Blake Savvy in the post game of that matchup, talking about his team. Even though it ends up being a loss to Sioux Falls, Washington, there's still things that he took away that they can build towards 2026 as they prepare for a busy schedule. Once everything gets going, both the Bucks and Gazelles have 17 games in about a 2-month span. So you think about that, 17 games over about 8 to 9 weeks. That is going to be an action-packed schedule once things get rolling. But here's that interview with head coach Blake Savvy from this past week's game against Sioux Falls, Washington, up at Washington High School.
Coach Savvy, final score ends up very much in favor of Sioux Falls, Washington. The offense just struggled at points tonight for you guys, but it's a very, very good Sioux Falls, Washington team. They're going to be able to win a lot of games this year. But what are your initial thoughts coming off the sideline here?
Yeah, I think they have a lot of length that they present on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, I'm just kind of scrolling through the stats, but 8 of 43, it's going to be tough to get much done against any opponent. That's a tough shooting night. I do think their length bothered us, and I think as the game went on, our girls did a lot better job just finding some answers. Like, we really did a good job finding the backside of the zone as the game went on, and then starting to get it into the middle and finding some looks from there. But again, I just, if we go 8 of 43, there's not going to be a lot of nights where that results in playing right with the opponent. That being said, I was very proud. The girls' effort tonight didn't stop one single time. The defensive effort was there the whole time. And, that's just what I told the girls in the locker room. We can learn from and work with tonight. Because the effort was just a lot more apparent than, a few days ago.
One player I want to talk about, she actually got offensive and defensive player of the game for us today, Eden Wolfgram. Felt like all over the stat sheet, 10 points. Looking at your stats over your shoulder here, 2 steals, 2 assists, 4 rebounds for her. So she was all over the floor tonight. Did struggle a little bit with shooting, 3 for 14, but all around, once again, she seems like one of those leaders for your team.
Yeah, she did a great job leading on the court tonight. And when we kind of talked about in the pregame or preseason interview, we kind of talked about her being the engine of the team a little bit. And when she's driving and just kind of pushing offensively and defensively, the rest of our team is going to follow and take on that same attitude. Another one that I thought did just a phenomenal job tonight was Nora Kraske. She's not going to show up a ton in the stats as far as, the shooting percentages or anything, but we just kind of had a chat at the end of the game. I thought that she did a great job just setting a tone for us, sprinting the floor hard, defending really hard. Whether the shots are falling or not, she did a great job just controlling those two things. And again, that helps set the pace and the tone for our team.
And you mentioned pace there. It felt like that's what was Washington's MO in that first quarter, getting out long outlet passes. You guys were able to adjust a little bit to it after that first quarter, but what were those adjustments like in the huddle, your talk with the girls to try to get them to get back on defense like that?
Yeah, I think it's just it's a little bit of organization on the court, and them getting into some huddles, and then us as coaches making sure that as subs continue to go in, we've communicated, who's a safety, who's a hound, and where are we at in transition, and then from there them huddling and continuing to communicate that and remind each other.
And Coach, you're looking at 3 weeks before your next game now, not until after the Christmas break, so a lot of practices before you get to take on Aberdeen Central, the Golden Eagles. So what is your Christmas break plan like for your team there?
Yeah, we need some practices. We haven't had one since Wednesday, and so there's a lot that we've learned from these first 3 games, a lot of really good and a lot of things that we can clean up. And that's kind of just, what we talked about in the locker room right there was if the effort is there, this team, we can clean up a lot of things and we can be a very good team come, January, February, March. But we've got to make sure that we're playing absolutely hard and relentless basketball, and then we can make the adjustments from there and clean some things up in practice. And so we'll throw a few wrinkles in on defense when we get to Christmas break, and I'm excited for that. And then just continue to work on ball movement, shooting, and playing off of each other on offense.
That was head coach Blake Savvy of the Yankton Gazelles this past Tuesday in the post game of their loss to Sioux Falls, Washington. Gazelles now 1-2 on the year. They travel to Aberdeen Central for their next game. That's the 3rd of January. Gazelles got to be a little bit of road warriors to start 2026. On the road at Aberdeen Central on the 3rd. Then I believe it's a road boys and girls doubleheader at Vermilion on January 6th. And then Mitchell, January 9th on the road. I believe still at the Corn Palace. I heard a rumor that they're going to be moving to their high school gym potentially once that's all ready to go because they just built that new high school up in Mitchell, but believe still at the Corn Palace. I'll confirm that before we get up there, don't you worry. But looking at the Gazelles' schedule here, as I'm trying to pull up the activities calendar. I believe they'd come back home the week after that matchup against Mitchell. Finally, another home game for the Gazelles. But between last Tuesday's game at Sioux Falls, Washington, and then obviously the Christmas break, first couple games after the break being on the road as well, it's going to be, I think, almost a full month, maybe even over a full month between home games for the Gazelles, which is really interesting to think about. Is, yeah, they were at home on December 12th for a doubleheader against Harrisburg, and the Gazelles their next home game is January 16th, boys and girls doubleheader against Watertown on January 16th. So we'll keep an eye on those games, and we'll have coverage for Yankton Gazelles basketball at the turn of the calendar when we get to 2026. But basketball really ramps up. Both teams got 17 games remaining, and they got about a 2-month window to get those games in the regular season. So we're going to have coverage of all of it. It's going to come fast and furious here on KYNT and KYN-TV. When we come back here on Huddling with the Herd, we're talking Yankton Bucks hockey and Yankton gymnastics here on the broadcast. So don't go anywhere. Still plenty to talk about this morning on Huddling with the Herd. It's a Saturday in December. Christmas coming up this week. Thanks for joining me so far today. Hockey and gymnastics when we come back.
In nearly every family's lineage, there's a tie to agriculture. It's a legacy reflected in how we raise our kids, help our neighbors, and respect what we have. Farmers Union Insurance was built on that legacy. And while our roots are in agriculture, our protection has grown to include home, auto, business, health, and life. Protect your legacy. Farmers Union Insurance.
Call Brendan Hansen and Brandon Tykrow or visit them at Suite 101B Morgan Square in Yankton.
If you've been suffering from chronic pain or a recent injury,
check us out, Lane, Reed, and Cole Sawatsky at SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab.
We offer a wide variety of treatments and techniques, including dry needling, cupping, chiropractic adjustments, and sports rehabilitation.
Our mission is to ensure an individualized and efficient treatment plan to get you back on your feet.
From ankle sprains and sports injuries to neck pain and headaches, we've got your back.
Give us a call or book an appointment on our website. SWAT Chiropractic, specialized wellness and therapy.
Located on Summit Street across from the high school.
When you make the right decision, it feels good. Like picking the perfect accent rug or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night crime show binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision too. That's why State Farm agent Rhonda Westland is right here in Yankton to help you select the right protection at the right price. Rhonda will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. With State Farm agent Rhonda Westland, it's easy to make the right choice. Just call her. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Do you struggle with dry contacts? At Vision Care Associates, we have a great option. Infused contact lenses by Bosch & Lomb. Infused lenses are designed to ensure that your eyes stay hydrated and irritation-free, even after a full day of wear. Our doctors specialize in fitting these lenses for maximum comfort and optimal vision. Schedule your consultation and experience the all-day comfort and crisp, clear vision you deserve.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Credit union people are my people. Dreaming big, keeping life simple. Saving smart, living free. At Explorers Credit Union, you're just like me. We chart new trails, we stand tall. Together we rise, together we call. Credit union people are my people, it's true. And I found my crew at Explorers CU. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit ExplorerCU.com to join the journey today.
Good news, my relatives are coming for Christmas, but not sure where to put them.
How about we put them in the Fairfield or Holiday Inn Express?
Having family or friends over this holiday season? Book rooms at the Fairfield by Marriott or Holiday Inn Express in Yankton. Each hotel has clean, comfortable rooms, pool, and free breakfast. Call either hotel direct for great rates or flexible reservation changes.
Hey, why don't we stay there and they can have the house?
Funny.
Welcome back here on KYNT and KYN-TV. It's time to talk gymnastics and Bucks hockey. We'll start with Yankton Gymnastics, who unfortunately had their scheduled duel with the defending AA state champions Harrisburg earlier this week postponed. That will now take place on January 2nd. So off for the holiday break a little sooner than the Gazelles might have expected for gymnastics. Looking at their season so far, they've had, excuse me here, I had the wrong schedule pulled up for a second. My apologies. But that was their third duel of the season. And they had quite a long break before that. They had the road duel against Pierre on December 8th, and then Thursday's duel with Harrisburg postponed to January 2nd. That'll still be held in Yankton, and that's back-to-back events in Yankton a couple days apart from each other for the Gazelles at River City Gymnastics and Cheer. Harrisburg on January 2nd, and then a couple different schools, Huron and Madison, both coming to town for a triangular on Monday, January 5th. So you can get out there and support the Gazelles. Both those start at 5:30 p.m. on their respective days as they come back from their holiday break in Yankton. If you're not familiar with where River City Gymnastics and Cheer is, it's in the old JC Penney building in the backside of the mall here in Yankton. And a decent facility they got, a very good facility they got over there. I don't want to downplay it. They have a good facility over there. So get out and support the Gazelles for their gymnastics season when that kicks back up in January 2nd. That's a Friday night. Harrisburg, the defending AA state champs, in town for a duel with the Gazelles. Really get to see where you stack up against the best of the best when you're taking on the defending AA champs. As for Yankton Bucks hockey, a bit of a similar story. Excuse me there. Bit of a similar story for them as the Gazelles gymnastics team, where they went on a bit of a break between games due to a postponement at one point. But looking at where the Bucks are on the season, 4-2 now after last night's victory over Brandon Valley, the Ice Cats up in Brandon Valley. Chase Sedlacek, Brayden Berkland, and Tucker Renken, all of them 2 goals and 2 assists in a 9-1 victory. So a very impressive showing there for the Bucks up in Brandon Valley. Like I said, now 4-2 on the season. Their only 2 losses have come to the undefeated Rushmore Thunder. So, you're taking on the best of the best, and sometimes you do end up coming up short. But looking at Yankton, mentioned the 4 points each from Renken, Berkland, and Sedlacek. Rylan Murphy had a goal and assist. Jack Pedersen had a goal and an assist. Dawson Toms had a goal. And then Kylan O'Connor, 2 assists for him to help out the team there. And then Isaac Demmer and Easton Velick each credited with an assist as well. In net, Luke Moeller faced 17 shots on target. Didn't allow 1 goal, but 16 for 17 on his saves. Coach Pedersen and his crew over there got to be happy with how their team played, especially after a bit of a stretch of time off. Before that game against Brandon Valley, it had been a full 2 weeks since their last game against Rushmore, and it had been even longer since their last non-Rushmore game. November 29th was the last time Yankton took on anybody besides the number 1 team in the state. They took on Rushmore on November 30th, lost 8-1, and then Rushmore again the next weekend and lost 4-0. But Yankton back into the win column after last night, and they're back in action today. The Huron All-Stars, the team Yankton opened their season with a 10-1 victory, now this time in Huron at Huron Bergman Arena. Puck drop is scheduled for 7:45 p.m. this evening. And just looking at the Bucks so far this year, you can't talk about the Bucks, going over some season stats here, without talking about Tucker Renken. Kid's been unstoppable. 22 points, 12 goals, 10 assists, so very balanced. He's averaging 3.67 points per game. The kids are going to love that one. Power play, he's got a goal on a power play. He's got a goal while shorthanded. He's got a couple assists on a power play. He's kept the penalty minutes down, too, and I think that's big across the board for Yankton. I know in talks with the coaching staff in the preseason, they want to talk about staying out of the penalty box, and nobody above 8 minutes in the penalty box so far this season. But Tucker Renken has been a star, 12 goals and 10 assists. Kylan O'Connor on 15 points, 8 goals, 7 assists. Jack Pedersen, a guy who, if I remember correctly, led the team in goals last season. He's turned provider, 12 assists on the year to lead the team. He's got 16 points for that. So. And Brayden Berkland, a young player, I believe freshman in high school, maybe a sophomore in high school. I'll have to look more into that to confirm. But young player, already looking like a future star for this Bucks team. 13 points, 4 goals, 9 assists for him. But the Bucks this season looking like a very good hockey team. I know they struggled a little bit against Rushmore, but newsflash, everybody's struggling against Rushmore. I'll give you the Rushmore stats in a moment just to give you an idea of how good that team is. But Luke Moeller in net for Yankton. He's played all 6 games, and he's played every minute of all 6 games. He's got 2.35 GAA. That's goals allowed on average, and an .897 save percentage across his 6 starts. And if you take out the 2 Rushmore games, which I know you can only play that game so much, but he's only allowed 4 goals this season. Mention that we take a look at the Rushmore Thunder just to give you an idea of how good they've been this year. 4-0 on the year, or excuse me, much more than 4-0 now. They were 4-0 when they played the Bucks the first time, but they're still undefeated, but now 8-0 on the year. Giving you an idea of the goal difference, they've scored 90 goals already as a team while allowing 6. That includes putting 25 goals up in their last game against Sioux Center on December 7th. It is a ridiculously good Rushmore Thunder team again, as it seems to always be. That's kind of the benchmark that teams are chasing, but they don't look they don't look completely unbeatable. Brookings got close back in the second game of the season, a 6-4 game. So we'll see how things go down the stretch. But Yankton hockey putting themselves in a pretty good position to once again make it to back-to-back state tournaments. Made their first ever state tournament last season. Still in the middle of this long road trip. The Bucks do return home on January 3rd. They will host Sioux Falls West, and I believe that is a makeup for the postponement earlier in the season. Next time we'll have coverage of Bucks hockey on KYN TV is the 31st of January when the Watertown Lakers come to Yankton, and then we'll follow that right back up on the 1st of February against the Brookings Rangers. So a little back-to-back days of hockey coming up on KYN TV at the end of January and the beginning of February. We're going to go back to break here on KYNT and KYN TV. When we come back, we're talking Bucks and Gazelles wrestling. Had a big tournament last weekend in Rapid City, and then the Gazelles just yesterday competing at the Cossack Avalanche Girls Wrestling Tournament. Finished second as a team, so bury the lead a little bit, but we'll talk about that when we come back. This is Huddling with the Herd, KYNT, KYN TV.
Buying a home isn't just about real estate. It's about investing in yourself. At the Move Group, we believe the best time to buy is when it makes sense for you. Our expert agents put people before transactions, meaning we listen first, provide honest guidance, and help you make a confident decision. No pressure, no gimmicks. Markets change, but the right home is about more than just numbers. It's about finding the right fit for your life and your future. When you're ready, we're here to help. Contact the Move Group today.
Loading the kids in the car, brokering peace in the back seat, mastering the snack handoff without even looking. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple, so you can worry about more important things, like figuring out what's growing in that cup holder. That's simple human sense.
Don't gamble. Insure with MT and RC Smith Insurance in Yankton, your independent agent for home, business, auto, life, and bonds. Visit mtrcsmithinsurance.com. Looking for fuel or more? Stop by Triple Time Rudy's, your locally owned convenience store at 17th and Broadway. At Triple Time Rudy's, they're proud to support the community, offering fuel discounts to Yankton's largest employers and backing local activities and events. Inside, you'll discover regional favorites like Dimmick Cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner lockers. Whether it's a quick snack, a tank of top-quality fuel, or a taste of local goodness, Triple Time Rudy's, fueling your day, fueling the community.
Moving is hard work. This is Deb Speck from Vision Real Estate, and I'd like to show you how I can make moving a little easier. From advice on staging your home, providing moving boxes, and the use of our enclosed courtesy trailer, to the behind-the-scenes social media marketing and attention to detail, you can rest easy knowing that you have an experienced professional working for you. Call me, Deb Speck, at 605-664-5555.
Welcome back here on KYNT and KYN TV for Huddling with the Herd. Time to talk Bucks and Gazelles wrestling. Yankton Bucks Wrestling placing 29th last weekend at the Rapid City Invitational at the Monument in Rapid City. The Bucks scored 34.5 points as a team, led by a 5th place finish at 215 by senior Edley Amaro. The Bucks back in action today at Sioux Falls Washington High School, an invitational up at Washington, and that's currently underway. I think matches are supposed to begin at 9 a.m. this morning at Washington High School. So good luck to the Bucks in that one. Hope everything's going well so far, and hopefully we get some good results. We'll have those results Monday morning as part of the Totally Yankton Morning Show here on KYNT. Also online at KYNT1450.com. If you're not familiar, our local sports report every morning, kind of giving a breakdown of the local athletics in the area. But good luck to the Bucks today up in Sioux Falls at Sioux Falls Washington High School. Like I said, those matches already underway. That was scheduled to begin at 9 a.m. this morning. Yankton Gazelles Wrestling was also out in Rapid last weekend, finishing 13th as a team at the Rapid City Invitational. Yankton scored 87 points as a team, led by Alexis Brayden and Winry Yagi, who both posted runner-up finishes, Brayden at 120 and Yagi at 145. Jacqueline Kite also placed for the Gazelles last week, taking 6th at 135. So that was a good little weekend, a big tournament out in Rapid City. It's not just South Dakota teams that were competing there. There were teams from Wyoming and North Dakota. I think a couple teams from Nebraska made a trip. A lot of teams were competing out in Rapid City last week. And that was not the only set of matches for the Gazelles this week. Just last night, 2nd place as a team at the Cossack Avalanche Girls Wrestling Tournament in Volga. Yankton's Chloe Catan at 115 won the title, and Alexis Brayden at the 120-125 division also taking home 1st place. Winry Yagi 2nd in the 145-155 division, and also placing 2nd was Jacqueline Kite in the 135-140 division. Peyton Kite was 4th in that division, and Sofia Delgado placed 5th. So a lot of Gazelles getting top 5 finishes last night at this meet. Finishing 2nd as a team, Sioux Valley would take home the team championship, but an impressive performance nonetheless from the Yankton Gazelles. I know we're still in the early stages of girls wrestling as a sanctioned sport in South Dakota, but the Gazelles wrestling program, you got to give them a lot of credit. It feels like they are one of those teams that is looking like a very good team again this season. I know it's the first year they've had a fully dedicated girls wrestling coach, Jason Yagi, taking over that role. Robert Coyle III still the head coach for the Bucks side of things, but that's a good wrestling program, continuing to go and investing more resources into it, having a dedicated head coach. That's only going to help that program grow more and more. And a lot of young wrestlers with this Yankton Gazelles team as well. That's something else to keep an eye on. But congratulations to the Gazelles, their 2nd place finish as a team yesterday. They are off for their winter break. They'll come back on January 2nd when they go to Salem for the McCook Central Montrose Invitational. That's on January 2nd. 2026. It's weird to say 2026. We got to start getting ready for it, though. But that is the McCook Central Montrose Invitational for them. Matches begin at 11 a.m. on the 2nd of January. And it's the same day as the Gazelles Gymnastics duel against Harrisburg at River City Gymnastics and Cheer. We're going to go to break here on Huddling with the Herd. When we come back, we're talking Yankton bowling. Don't have results from last night's game. There's still bowling matches around the state happening throughout the weekend. Some get scheduled Friday, some get scheduled Saturday. So how everything shakes out, we don't have. But looking at their season up to this point when we come back. This is Huddling with the Herd here on KYNT, KYN-TV. Back after this break.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
Your flex spending dollars expire soon. Stop into the Yankton Medical Clinic Pharmacy before the end of the year. The friendly staff will assist you with your medication needs and questions. They offer brand name and generic prescriptions, special order items, over-the-counter medications, and more. And provide convenient online refills, drive-up service, free delivery or mail-outs, and evening and weekend hours. Check your flex spending account for eligible expenses. Call the Yankton Medical Clinic Pharmacy, 665-2929, or visit yanktonmedicalclinic.com. So much care, so close to home.
The other day, a customer came into the UPS store with a few special gifts she needed to ship for the holidays. As we were packing them securely, she asked if we could also help her design and print custom Christmas cards. The answer? Of course we can. At the UPS store in Yankton, for over 8 years, we've been helping customers with their holiday needs, from shipping gifts to creating personalized cards. Stop in today and let us make your holiday season easier.
The holidays are here, and Hy-Vee can help make your season a little easier and a whole lot more delicious. Take some stress off your plate with holiday meal packs, entertaining trays, or bakery-fresh desserts that are fully prepared and easy to serve. Or if you're looking for a thoughtful gift, check out our selection of festive, curated gift baskets that are sure to impress. From meal planning to hosting to gifting, Hy-Vee has everything you need to save time, celebrate more, and share smiles this holiday season.
Welcome back here on KYNC and KYNCV. We're talking Yankton bowling. Don't have the results from last night, but do have the results from last week as the Bucks and Gazelles split their matchup with Sioux Falls Christian last Friday at the Yankton Bowl. Gazelles improved to 5-1 with a 46-4 victory. Avery Turner led the Gazelles, had a 247 high game and a 683 series for Yankton. The Bucks would fall in their matchup to the Chargers. Close matchup, 26-24. Christian Weir rolling a 275 high game and a 678 series to lead the Bucks. The Bucks and Gazelles did host Sioux Falls Jefferson last night, but looking at the standings, heading into this week of action, Yankton 4th in the boys' standings and 5th in the girls' standings for Yankton, for South Dakota High School Bowling Association. It's impressive for them as we're getting into down the stretch. I think about halfway through the season now. I think it's a 13-week season. They're in week 6 right now. Looking at some things of note throughout the season. So Yankton's Cadence Bonzer actually has the second highest high game as of right now through this season for the varsity girls, a 247. Alexis Heeb of Brookings, the only one higher. She rolled a 267 earlier this year. For the boys' side of things, 2 of Yankton's athletes are top 5 for the boys' high game, and technically one of them's tied for first, one of them's tied for third. Blake Kotz has a 280 high game, which is tied with Lincoln Heel of Harrisburg as of right now, and Christian Weir rolled a 279 at one point this season for that. And then Christian Weir also near the top for the high series, had a 746 series at one point this year. So it's a lot of very good bowlers for this Yankton Bucks and Gazelles team, trying to get them on more and get more talked about them. I mean, I was trying to find a joke to make out of it, but the best I can do is compare it to when Keon Coleman, a wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills, was asked about golfing because he mentioned that he golfed in an interview, and his response was, "I'm no Tiger Woods. I'm a Tiger wish he could." And that's how I feel about bowling. I like rolling the ball, but I'm shooting for 100. These kids are cracking high games of 240 plus. In the case of Christian Weir, 279. So there's levels to this. This is a very much apples to oranges comparison. But if you ever want to go out and support the Bucks and Gazelles in their season, you can. They have multiple events out at the bowling alley here in Yankton. Looking at their schedule, the next time they're at home will be the weekend of January 12th to the 16th. That Friday. So it looks like Friday the 16th at 4 p.m. at the Yankton Bowling Alley. They'll take on Sioux Falls Roosevelt, and that'll be their Week 9 matchup with Sioux Falls Roosevelt. Currently in Week 7 right now of the season. Their final regular season game is the 13th of February against Sioux Falls, Washington. That one's at home as well. But multiple conference championships for the Bucks, multiple state titles for the Bucks, conference championship for the Gazelles as well. So very good bowling program over there. Head coach Pat King does a great job keeping his team together, assisted by Todd Kotz, Terry Norton, and Brian Birch. So very good team for Yankton Bucks and Gazelles bowling. Get out there and support them if you can when they're at home at the Yankton Bowling Alley. We're going to take a break, come back, and have YHS Nation here on KYNT and KYN TV, and we'll wrap things up after that. This is Huddling with the Herd, KYNT, KYN TV, back after this break.
Sports injuries can be the result of competitive activities, but can also happen by just participating in leisure activities too. If you're experiencing pain as the result of your chosen activity, consider chiropractic care. I'm Dr. Mackenzie Erlinson with First Chiropractic Centers. We have experienced chiropractors that work with sports injuries every day. Our treatment options are aimed to minimize pain, reduce recovery time, and reduce risk of future injuries. Visit First Chiropractic Centers, making life better, one adjustment at a time.
Long day, good day, either way, Yankton Pizza Ranch makes it easy. Our buffet is always ready with fresh pizzas, mouth-watering desserts, and the country's best chicken. No waiting, no stress, just grab a plate and enjoy. So when you need comfort made simple, make today a buffet day at Yankton Pizza Ranch. Buffet every day from 11 to 8.
It's where life tastes better. Surround 'em up and head her down to the Pizza Ranch.
Whoa, that's good.
Ever have one of those days? Your car breaks down, your dog decides your couch is a chew toy, and oh yeah, a tree falls on your roof. Don't worry, Missouri River Associates has you covered. Auto, home, pet mishaps, we're here for all of life's little oops moments. Call 665-6885 for your free quote, because life happens, and we're ready for it.
At Vision Care Associates, we're always improving our technology for the health of your eyes. With OptiMap dilation-free exams, you get a comprehensive view of your retina without the need for dilation eye drops. It's quick, easy, and best of all, it keeps your day interruption-free. OptiMap captures a detailed image of your eye, helping to detect any problems. No blurriness, no discomfort, just clear, precise results. Book your OptiMap exam now.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Welcome back here on Huddling with the Herd on KYNT and KYN TV. As we do every week, we got YHS Nation, your weekly look in at the activities and events going on around Yankton High School. And with winter break, nothing's going on right now. Yankton Bucks Wrestling is up at Sioux Falls, Washington. And the debate team does have a varsity invitation of the Bell invite at Brookings High School today. But outside of that, nothing on the docket until January 2nd. So we're kind of shut down for the holidays here for what's going on around Yankton High School. But YHS Nation, we did get a chance for Scotty Borman to talk to I'm so used to saying head coach Brady Muth, but Brady Muth, instructor for the exact wording is slipping my mind, but basically the internship program at Yankton High School, allowing students to go out and intern in the community. We've had a couple members of that program end up working here for a little bit the last couple of years. So it's a good program. Let's kids get out and get experience in the real world. And we'll have Scotty Borman's interview with not only advisor to that program, instructor for that program, Brady Muth, but a couple students who are currently in the program here on YHS Nation. And we'll also hear from the high school principal, Todd Dorachik, about just what's going on around Christmas break and plans for when they come back for the new year. So strap in. It's YHS Nation here on KYNT and KYN TV.
This is Scotty Borman for YHS Nation, where we look at the non-sports programs at Yankton High School. So today we're talking to Brady Muth, who we're not talking to as a football coach today. He's actually gets to oversee all the kids in different internship programs. So first off, Brady, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really good.
And why don't you give us a quick overview on what the internship program is like here at YHS and what's the positive impact that we have from that?
Yeah, so we have, in our internship class, we've got two tracks in it. We've got the internship track, and then we've got another track called World of Work. And the World of Work track is a much more exploratory class. It's for kids that might have kind of an idea of what they want to do, but they're not quite sure. We do a lot of research, not just in career fields, but also about themselves to try to find out what fits them the best and where they fit the best. The internship programs for students that have done a little bit of that research and some of that work on themselves to try to find out who they are and what it is they love to do. And then we set up a longer-term job shadow situation with those internship students, which is a little more immersive, where they're getting a little more hands-on just because they've got a little bit more background knowledge into what they're doing. Both tracks, I think, are very valuable to the student. I think, to be honest with you, I think the biggest thing you can take out of either of those two things is learning what you don't want to do, getting you on the right track to find out what it is that you love to do, and that's really the power of the whole program is connecting students with the things that they love so that they can find some kind of lifelong fulfillment, much more fulfilling than a paycheck.
Okay, excellent. And can you give us a quick example about a few of the options that students have in both of those? I mean, actually, internships, they're at a job. I know we recently had a young lady talking about how she gets to help with elementary school teachers, helping them.
Yeah, and we have the internship class, and that is the interesting thing about how it's all structured is, when you come into a regular classroom, like a math class, you're going to learn about long division, and then you're going to learn about this, and then you're going to learn about that, and that's about as far as my expertise on math goes. But you're going to learn about things that are structured, where when you come into the internship class, you are learning about the things that you are passionate about. And it's our trick from the school's point of view is to try to connect those students with their passions, and that's in any field. And the one thing that makes this work so great, it gets brought up a lot, but Yankton does a really good job of supporting the things that go on in its community, and this is another really great example of it. I've said this to a couple people here just really recently in the last couple years, and I think if you would have talked to me at a younger age, I may have had a different feeling about it, but we're working specifically in workforce development. I mean, that's what we're trying to connect is give students an opportunity to find the thing that they love to do, because they're going to be doing it for the rest of their lives. And so something that is fulfilling and meaningful for them, that they can have in a career and not just a job. But we have kids that are filtered throughout the town in every facet of every industry you could think of, whether it's heavy manufacturing to precision manufacturing. We have students that are in our schools, as you alluded to. We've got a lot of students that are in classrooms working with students. We have students that are shadowing small business owners and learning the ins and the outs and the day-to-day of a small business and how that all operates. We've been really fortunate to get some students in to shadow some attorneys, and some of them, we've got a really great partner with Avera, where our healthcare students that have an interest there, that they can get up and they can see, they get rotated throughout the entire hospital complex, and they get to see everything, and they get to see it up close and personal. Probably the coolest shadow that we've had, and I tell kids this all the time: don't do something that's comfortable, or don't do what your parents want you to do. You got to do what you love to do, and that's the only thing you should do, is what you love to do. We had a student that had gone through within our World of Work program, and she was in a career, and she was researching a career that she fit in, and it was great, but it was time for her to come off of it and find something else. And I said, if you could do anything in the world, what would you want to be? I'd want to be a pilot. All right, let's get you up in the air. And we got her connected with Jake Hoffner in town, who's a great asset for us, and did a great job with her. But that's the way this thing works. We have people in town that want this to be special and want it to be great for our kids, because we want our students to know that we're making an investment in them. We want them to know that they matter to this community, and we want them to keep them here, because when it really comes down to it, the things that we're turning out of our town, the young people that we are turning out and we educate, that's our greatest asset. That's our greatest commodity that we have here in Yankton. And we were talking about it before the interview here. Yankton people just do things a little bit better. Probably not politically correct to say, but we have some.
We can brag on ourselves. We are celebrating 150 in the school district.
That's right. We have really good people here, and we want to enhance them. And if they would like to, we'd love to keep them here and make our community better. We know that students...
Or if not, they get to go off and be a great representation to us elsewhere, like somebody named Brokaw.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, and there's all sorts of stories like that. But we really want our students to be able to connect themselves to the career that they want and the passions that they have, so that they can have the motivation to find success for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, and I figure that a really fun part of your job is to find those awesome local partners for all these kids to connect with.
That really has been we're talking about that. I'm a history teacher by trade, and I love the study of history and social sciences and all of that, but this has been, this move, when they asked me if I was interested in working in this capacity, this has been a real eye-opening experience for me as well. To me, this is the most of an educator I've ever felt, where I'm working with students and helping them to find the things that they have an interest for, and they're learning about it because they want to learn about it. It's really refreshing, and it is great to go around our town and see all of the different jobs that exist in our community, and all the intricacies and the nuances of all those different careers. Both my parents were teachers, and I fell into teaching. I think it's the right career move for me, but I didn't really explore all that much. I didn't realize all that there was out there to do. I mean, even, the things that really fascinate me are the things that I don't know anything about. So when I get into an agricultural setting or into a manufacturer setting where I haven't had a whole lot of experience there, it's fascinating to see the amazing things that the people in this town do.
Excellent. All right, thank you, Brady. And now we're going to talk to Jackson Wagner, who is part of the internship and World of Work program at Yankton High School. Good morning, Jackson. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. You?
Excellent, thank you. So how are you involved in the internship program at the high school?
I'm doing World of Work. I'm doing it for only one semester. I am doing... World of Work is shadowing, and I am shadowing down at KVHT, and basically what I do down there is I help out with editing sometimes. I record a few ads, and I'll also help with their shopper show.
Awesome. So how do you feel that this is hopefully going to benefit you for when you graduate high school?
Before I started, I didn't know what I was actually going to be doing for a career at all. But now that I did this, I definitely know that I want to do something within entertainment, whether it's recording, radio, editing, stuff like that.
Excellent. Thank you, Jackson. And now we're talking to another student at YHS that is in the World of Work program as well, and her name is Brooklyn Haar. So how are you doing today, Brooklyn?
I'm good. How are you?
I am excellent. Thank you. So what are you doing in the World of Work program?
I was currently interning at Yankton County EMS.
Okay, and can you tell us a little bit about what you got to do? Did you get to go out with them? Did you do office work? What happened there?
I got to go and observe, when they were out doing stuff, on calls.
Okay, excellent. And has that inspired you to go into that field, or how has that impacted you approaching graduation?
I am going to go into paramedic. I'm going to study to become a paramedic, and I'm, really excited.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. That's awesome news. We could always use more. All right. Thank you very much, Brooklyn, and you have a happy holidays.
You too.
And next we're talking to our high school principal, Mr. D, or Mr. Duracek. So first off, Mr. D, how are you doing?
Hey, we're doing really good. It's been winding down here this first semester, and we're getting things in place for second semester and getting ready to enjoy a little break for our students and our staff, and just a lot of things going on, but that keeps all the hustle and bustle going. So.
And a perfect segue. Mainly, I wanted to talk to you about that wonderful winter break, holiday break we got coming up. Why don't you give us a little details on what the days are, what you're looking at for the students
You bet. So we have a 1 o'clock dismissal on December 19th for our students. They'll be taking semester tests on the 18th and 19th, and then a little early dismissal on that last day. And then we have some activities there Friday night and into Saturday as well with, all over activities for all the things going on. But then, what's really nice is our Activities Association from South Dakota, they have a period where there's just a no contact with coaches, activity supervisors, and supervisors from the 23rd to the 26th, and then just don't, so it gives kids, parents, families time to be together doing those things as well. And then we ramp things back up on the 29th with some, practices and some of those events, and get ready to come back here for January 5th is when we come back into school. So we're excited about that, and but really looking forward to a break from things, and spend time with families and the people and the loved ones that we have.
Awesome, Mr. D. Thank you very much on that. By the way, did you know why Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is going to have to take summer school?
I do not know that.
Because he went down in history.
Yeah, probably. That's right.
All right. Well, thank you for your time today, Mr. D, and you have a great day, and if I don't see you before then, have a happy holidays.
You bet. We're wishing everybody a happy holidays from YHS and the Yankton School District, and enjoy that time with your families.
All right. Thank you, sir.
That was YHS Nation here on KYNT and KYN-TV as part of Huddling with the Herd, and that's going to wrap us up this Saturday. Huddling with the Herd, presented by Explorers Credit Union. Discover the difference with them at explorerscu.com. Thanks again for tuning in on a Saturday. No Huddling with the Herd next week. It's the Christmas holiday. Everybody gets the week off, I guess. There's not really a whole lot to talk about, but the Saturday after that, the 3rd of January, we'll be back here with Huddling with the Herd on KYNT and KYN-TV. Until then, I've been Brayden Butler. Thanks to the coaches that were able to talk this morning, and good luck to Bucks Wrestling. The last real activity before 2026 is Bucks Wrestling today up at Sioux Falls, Washington for Yankton Athletics. Also, good luck to the debate team. They're in Brookings today as well. Hopefully they have a good showing out there for that. But that is going to do it for Huddling with the Herd here on KYNT and KYN-TV. I've been Brayden Butler. Thank you for listening. And until 2 weeks from now, the 3rd of January, stay safe, be good people, and have a great weekend, everybody. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas to all.
KYNT, Yankton, FM 102.